Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss Buffalo Trace's $1.2 billion expansion. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Katie Joyce, Ryan Thompson, Lenny Eckstein, and Marty Mead.
Hey, gang, what's up?
What's up, guys?
So, yes, we've got the show today. We're going to be talking about a $1.2 billion expansion. It's really just, they keep just adding to the number. So, but we'll talk about that. What can you do with $1.2 billion? And do you need to do that? And what's going to happen with that? Do we think things are going to change around there? We'll get to that after the break. For right now, I've got a question for you guys. What do you do when you see, this can be male or female, by the way, this is not, but it seems to predominantly more happen to males. You see someone and their fly is down. Do you say anything? What's the appropriate cause of action? Or do you just act like you don't see it and let someone else address it, let them find it themselves? What do you do? Because this happened to me in Key West. I saw someone strolling around in our group with their fly down, and I elected just to say nothing, assuming someone else would say something, and it went like on all day and no one said anything. So.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Okay, all right, Ryan's got this. He knows the protocol.
You don't comment on it. Maybe you would observe it, but you don't comment on it. So
you observe it, but you don't comment. Okay.
Anyone else? Lenny?
I don't know. I know personally I don't comment on it, but when I have had people comment on it for me, I guess I'm kind of appreciative.
Are you appreciative or pissed off?
Everybody, right?
Yeah.
The subtle take of like, hey man, you know, 10 to that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Okay. I once had a stranger. This is back when I had a corporate job and I had to wear a suit, and you're getting ready to travel, and you're at you park your car, and then you got to get on a shuttle bus, and I grab my luggage out and I'm gathering that and walking in the shuttle bus, and I get on there and the guy says, "Hey man, what's your name?" And I said, "Steve." And he says, "Hey Steve, I'm more zipped up than you are." What the fuck? In front of the whole goddamn bus? The guy's doing a comedian, doing his bits with me as the butt of his jokes in front of the whole goddamn bus. Yeah.
I think you discreetly tell somebody, like if I.
That wasn't discreet. No, that wasn't discreet. Yeah. That was a line. Yeah. Oh, he got me good. Yeah.
That's just rude to make it into a whole, and like to point it out to more people. That's just rude.
Yeah, that's rude. Not nice,
right?
But
That's the difference between somebody having some food on their face. Do you tell them?
Yeah, well, you just ignore it and hope they figure it out themselves.
So
I think. Question. Here's the question: would you want somebody to tell you if your zipper's down or if you had food on your face? You would appreciate that, no?
Or in your beard.
It depends on the situation here for things. Okay, one, my comfort level with telling someone depends on how I know them. Like if I see any of my friends with anything wrong, I will immediately tell you. Like I'll be like, hey, you got a hair out of place. Hey, you got your button's weird. Like, I'll tell you anything. If you're my friend. Easy answer there. If you're a stranger, that's where it gets weird. Do you tell them or not? If the situation looks like they could be getting by and someone didn't notice. So like if their zipper's down, but it's not gaping open. So like it's still closed. So you like just happen to catch it at the right angle that you notice that technically the zipper was down, but like they could notice it later and be like, oh shoot, my zipper's down, but it's not gaping open. Maybe no one noticed. then I don't tell them. Because they could get by and think, oh, maybe no one noticed. But if it's like gaping open and clear of like, I can see their underwear and hopefully they have underwear on, then I think you have to tell them, because if they see it later, they're going to be like, holy shit, how many people noticed is then what they're going through.
Yeah.
And so I think at that point, then you just have to do the kind thing of telling them discreetly of like, hey, you got, and so like, if they got a little something in their teeth, if it's something that's not bad, you just let it go because they're like, oh, I wonder if anyone noticed. But if it's something like a big piece of like strawberry on their cheek that's bright red, that obviously that you just tell them right away, like, oh, hey, you got a little something on your face. So they're not then worried about like how many people noticed.
Say I'm out with Lenny and he's got a big glob of mayonnaise on the side of his mouth. I'm not saying a fucking word. I'm letting him walk around the rest of the fucking day like that. I'm loving it. This is the shit I dream about. This is perfect. Yeah.
I don't think
I'm laughing about it the whole time. Yeah.
So it's Key West too, so they might be doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
For the attention, right?
Away with it. They are more than most places.
I feel like a fly can go either way, but I was recently on vacation and I'm in the water and I look over, and as I'm looking over, I saw this transpire. Someone informed the woman that they were with that the top of their bathing suit was slid to the side, so much so that it needed to be tended to. That's one that you don't really let that hang. Like you can't.
You would have said something. Yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy one time was at the pool and his wife had one get away, and there was all these kids, and the kids just fucking loved it. This might have made their life. They loved it. So yeah. No one told her. She comes strolling out. She noticed as she's getting out of the pool, and then everyone had seen. She noticed there's a lot of commotion in that. It was all the kids saying, "Hey, look at that! Look at that! There it is. We've been waiting to see this. There it is." Yeah. Hello, Suzette. How you doing?
Everybody gets attention in different ways.
Yeah. There you go. All right. On that note, I don't think we solved anything, but we had a lot of opinions. So, all right, it's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Lenny. Let's get the silent cork pop out of the way, and then we can have fun with the game.
I'm gonna go with some Cedar Ridge rye.
Okay. Oh, that was very good. Whoa!
Just had to shut you up.
Lenny has the lead. Probably going to be enough to win this thing. We'll see. Let's go to the Orcas Island crew. What do you guys got?
Here you
go.
Nothing. Got nothing.
That was one of your better ones, actually.
Second place.
Oh, thank you.
Second place. McNew? How about you?
I have some Maker's Mark. It's not going to do much.
Seriously.
No, it's a twist off.
It literally does nothing. It's a twist off.
I was like, what makers do you have that's a cork and not a twist off? That answers the question. Okay.
That one right there. That one right there. Yeah. All right, Katie, what do you have?
I have some Distillery 291, a barrel select from the ABV Barrel Shop.
Twist off.
Nice. Number one sales in Surf Hotel.
Open it yet?
Oh, that was very good. Not good enough. Lenny's still got the lead. Lenny's got the lead. I've got Michter's Toasted Barrel Finish Bourbon. Michter's Toasted Barrel. All right, here we go. Nothing. Silent. Ridiculous. Lenny, you win, buddy. You win.
Not surprised.
First summer, everything, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Usual. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about a $1.2 billion expansion. And we'll find out from our guys here if Buffalo Trace decided to be kind and just leave it at $1 billion and give either Ryan or Lenny the $0.2 billion and allow them to put that in their story. So we'll talk about that after the break. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Hello, this is Daddy Kennard, and I'm recording on the ABV Network.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about Buffalo Trace's $1.2 billion expansion.
Yes, we are. $1.2 billion. That's crazy, right? What the heck can you do with
some money?
Yeah.
That could buy a city property on Key West to do a barrel shop in. Would be fun.
Yeah.
And then
pay rent for a little while.
But instead, Buffalo Trace is building a wastewater treatment plant. So let's talk about that.
A wastewater treatment plant. I guess that's a good idea. Yeah. Well, kind of.
I think.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to say they don't have a choice. I don't think they're doing it because they think it's cool.
It's the unsexy side of necessary expansion. Like they can, it's the necessity of making some very exciting things to let them put out more products that we love. But it takes a lot of money. And
have you ever been there in August when they have everything shut down? That stuff's not moving constantly. It smells like a swamp there. So yeah, it makes sense. They got to do the water.
Hey, you just nailed it. A lot of money. It's incredible this amount of money that's being invested into it.
Yeah, $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
Have you ever invested $1.2 billion in one of your companies, Ryan? You got a lot of businesses. 1.2 billion.
Nope, not even close. Good question.
I mean, what's crazy? You think, man, what's the craziest new distillery you heard about? That IJW, $200 million, distillery. And you think, man, that's unbelievable. Well, Buffalo Trace is pumping another billion on top of that.
Mm-hmm. Now's the time, though.
Yeah,
like
I guess.
Are we going to look back in like 30 years and think, like, dude, remember how hot bourbon was?
Right.
And like everyone went all in. Maybe it cools off, maybe it doesn't, but now's the time.
Okay. We're just going to double down and see what happens. Yeah.
Well, the upside was somebody's pumping that much money into a product. That means that product is on fire. So that benefits everybody, right?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah. If they're putting $1 billion into their product, that's just going to boost everybody's product.
We hope. Yeah.
Well, because that means there's a demand for it, right? There's a demand for bourbon across the world. So
yeah, you could even do a podcast about it, I hear. So yeah, cool.
Damn right.
Yeah, damn.
I believe so they're increasing production by 50%.
50%. Yeah,
a lot.
That's, and especially if you look at their current production, the amount of that increase.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So I know it's going to take a few years. But how do you think that's going to do with their allocations? Like, are they going to make more of the allocated stuff, or are they going to we're making more Wheatley vodka?
Like, they're come out with different products with it.
Buffalo Trace is the real for everywhere. Yeah. Buffalo Trace is going to be on the every rail now. That's going to be
gas station Fireball.
All goes into the core. Oh. If it's really Buffalo Trace, that's not that. Fireball is under the parent under Sazerac, so I think it's all into the whiskey brand. So the Buffalo Trace. So, yeah.
You can look at their allocations of what else have they bought, what else are they producing. Is it just Buffalo Trace whiskey, or did they buy other brands, or they?
They made it, but
yeah, they've got quite a few brands, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the problem with amping up Stag Junior, whatever you want to say. All that takes years and years and years. So, right. I mean, I guess they're laying down more stuff that ultimately may down the road may impact that, but that's going to be after all this expansion is done. Then you make the whiskey and then you wait 8 years, 9 years. So if it does lead to that, more of that stuff, that's going to be really far down the road at this point. So
maybe they're getting into making gin.
Gin.
Maybe they're moving into different markets. They look at that.
Well, they're everywhere, so that would be. They just don't have enough to go around where they're at. So that's the key. They're everywhere already, but yeah, they can get more in the markets, I guess.
I always find it interesting to look at these huge, distilleries and think about how even like the not so huge, a brand like Wilderness Trail is an example.
Right.
Last I heard, their daily volume is equivalent to all of the whiskey I have in stock in my rack house right now, but they make that much every day. Buffalo Trace, geez, like I don't even know what they're
right. So
if I was good at math,
they have the ceremonies where they do the 1,000,000 barrels. So and wasn't it just like 2 years ago they did a 1,000,000 barrel, and then this year, or I guess the end of last year now because we're in 2023, but in the end of 2022 they did another 1,000,000, which was like 2 years ago they had done 1,000,000. So I guess they're going to go to 1,000,000 barrels a year when they get done with all this, doubling capacity, which is going to be unbelievable. 1,000,000 a year. Yeah.
Like I know that the whiskey doesn't flow off the still out of a small hole or one thing, but if it did, it would be such an impressive volume shooting out of like,
right?
It was like fire hose style coming blasting out.
I'd want to like shoot like across like a field somehow, like into another.
It looks like just a rope though, because it's at such high pressure. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Buffalo Trace also gets a lot of mentions now. I don't know if you guys are aware, but like Joe Rogan on his podcast, he like really pumps the Buffalo Trace. So it's getting a lot.
Because they pay him, sure.
No.
Yeah, they pay him. Yeah, it's paid product advertising. But they're getting.
By the way, Buffalo Trace, if you want to pay me, I'll pump the shit out of that here too.
It's capital.
I'll pump a lot of things if Buffalo Trace wants to pay me.
Yeah, we want in on that train.
Yeah.
Send us money.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Send us money. So, yeah.
I mean,
what else?
They're taking over Jack Daniels.
What I find interesting is it looks like this expansion is all like traditional style expansion. So they've got a new rick house. They're doing a new column still, a 40-foot column, I think.
That's what I read too. Yeah.
40. Okay. Yeah. That's huge.
I'm more interested in seeing what new innovations
by the way,
they're looking at developing. And because I think that's what really excites me, especially I feel like some of the bigger companies miss out on. And some of the best whiskey that's excited me has been companies that have tried new things. And especially I prefer things a little more eco-friendly too, but I just see like the picture of them building this new rick house and all the wood in it and all the products we're using for all of this expansion and everything that we're using up. And I would love to hear more from Buffalo Trace of expanding into ways to increase their production and not just using more product and waste. But
if you're them, do you worry about changing those things, Katie? Because they don't. Industry.
They don't give a shit at all.
Right. But would you, if you were them, would you worry about? I mean, there's always that story that one day they had to get their still worked on, and not necessarily Buffalo Trace, but there's this rumor in the Heritage brand, had to get their still worked on. They noticed that the best whiskeys ever is coming off of that, and then the next time they go to work on, they're like, wait a minute, what is this? There's a wrench in there, and they're like, somebody left a wrench in here. They're like, no, leave it in there. Leave it in there. We're making the best whiskey we ever made.
It's the wrench. What is it? Like wrench barrel. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that they're not even willing to take a wrench out of that. You think they're willing to change things of their core whiskey making just because it's more?
No, they're not.
eco-friendly?
But they've got the name that they could, and it frustrates me because they could have put in a huge geothermal pump. They could have done this in different ways to be so much more efficient, and they didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna. By the way, I'm gonna do a spot audit of the Joyce Law offices on Monday.
So, Steve, you should bookmark this idea because you could do a whole show about how can bourbon become more sustainable, and you should have Katie. She has good ideas. You do a whole show on.
I have a guest who could come talk about this. Actually, yes, even.
You give me a writing credit on that, but do it later without me.
Give me a writing credit. Yeah.
So when it like just like sportswear companies like this with Buffalo Trace, they're going to ramp up their production so they can put more product out there. But what they're doing is flooding the market with a lower quality product, just like Jack Daniels or Jim Beam. But if you have a niche market where you're producing a really good product and you're keeping it in that niche, I think you're better off in that regard. It's kind of, I had a friend that owned, a friend of mine started and owned OP. You guys remember OP?
Oh yeah,
sure. I lived in the '80s, so yes, I remember.
Yeah, you lived in the '80s, and so their main product was the biggest selling thing were the corduroy OP shorts. You guys remember those? The board shorts.
I had a pair.
So he ran that company. He said, "We're never going to make these in extra large. The biggest size we made is large."
Yeah,
and so they kept it as a niche market. It was all fit surfers making it. Then they got involved with. They decided to sell corporate, go to Mr. Rags and all these big companies, and they wanted extra large and double extra large. As soon as they did that, then they went into Kmart and they were just being sold everywhere.
Sure.
Yeah, they went corporate, their volume increased, but the actual product got diminished. Then nobody wanted them anymore. Nobody wanted OP shorts anymore because there were like these like jumbo fat guys on the beach wearing.
Yeah, I was wearing them then. So
it'll make it.
But when you were wearing those in the 90s, in the 80s and the 90s, you were like, you know what I mean? It was a niche market. That's when they were at the height of their game.
Oh yeah. Right. No, what killed them is really Hammer Time. When he came out with those pants, then everyone got away from the OP shorts. They were all wearing the Hammer pants.
You're right.
Yeah, when MC Hammer came up with the Hammer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He had those
the parachute pants.
Yeah, the parachute pants. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in favor of like keeping your product tight, keeping it unique, keeping it like very, very, very nice and exclusive. Once you go big, you throw billions of dollars in it. You're going for high volume. Yeah, you're gonna you potentially. If you're the owner of the corporation, whatever, you might make more money, but to keep your product close to you, it
sounds like that's what they're doing. If they're not changing anything, even at the expense of angering Katie.
I think they're going for high volume, and I don't think that actual connoisseurs are going to appreciate that.
We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. That's the bottom line. What you lead to the idea of what happens with all this. Well, we've heard big expansions going on at Jim Beam and stuff like that. Also, they're expanding their core business. So what's Beam doing with their $400 million expansion? More Beam white label. What's Buffalo Trace in reality going to be doing? More Buffalo Trace. I mean, it's just their base product. That's what comes out of it. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Katie, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me fighting the losing fight on eco-friendly bourbon creation, and also over on Instagram at Katie Proof.
Very nice. Lenny, how about you?
You can find me and the rest of Deerhammer on social media at Deerhammer, on the web's deerhammer.com. You can order Deerhammer soon to be at the new ABV online barrel shop. And you can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado.
Marty.
Yeah. You can find me here on Orcas Island at orcasislandadventures.com.
Ryan.
Heyo, 10th Mountain Whiskey. 10th, 10th Whiskey with E. And on our website, 10thwhiskey.com. See ya.
Sure. Absolutely. McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. That's the one you got to check out. Boy, there's a lot of content out there. Over 3,000 podcasts. Check us out. All original material. Made for who? Made for you. Check us out, abvnetwork.com. Please, no questions during my plugs. ABVBarrelShop.com. Check that one out too, because we are the world's only single barrel shop. We're located in St. Louis, Missouri. Come by and see us, or at a minimum, sign up for our email distribution at abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theABVNetwork.
Great job today, gang. Friday, so we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with the national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.